Welcome to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast, with your hosts, Mike Menino and Nariman Hamden, bringing you insights and stories on achieving personal, professional, and financial success.
Hi, everybody. I'm Michael Menino, and welcome to Driven Unscripted Success podcast. Today on the podcast, we're interviewing professionals who share their experience with you and how they got to where they're at today. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. And zooming from the beautiful island of Fort Myers is Dan Iverson. How you doing, young man?
Doing good. Just living the dream.
I love the dream. Could you do me a quick favor and tell the audience a little bit about yourself, how you are, where you're at today, and what you went through to get there?
A lot of grief.
A lot of grief. That's the part of success.
Yeah. From Minnesota originally, and got involved with mortgage lending almost out of high school. I would say it was probably second year of college, and started at the bottom. I had taken a typing class in high school just because that's where the girls were, and that got
smart call. I didn't do that.
Real full. Got my first job as a secretary in a large mortgage company, and then kind of worked myself up through the various departments and learned the business from the bottom. Ultimately ended up opening my first mortgage company when I was 25. At the time, I was the youngest that had ever opened a full-fledged mortgage lending company in the country, and just proceeded to build that up till it was the fourth largest in the Midwest for government lending. And then 1978 happened, when the market crashed, lost $1.8 million in 72 hours. And
wow. How'd that happen? Let's dive a little deeper on that one. Sorry about that, first off.
Yeah, it was, what had happened is that the market changed overnight due to some political issues that had happened. And so I was doing, back in that time, $50 to $60 million a month. And so when the market moved, they had a limit as far as how much it would move before the market closed down, and you couldn't do anything. And so for about a month, the market moved down so quickly that unless you were got in with a trade within the first 15 seconds of the day, you weren't able to trade. And so that loss initially was a 1.8, grew to $4 million over the next 90 days. And so had to start over again. And then opened a few more mortgage companies, some for myself, some for other people. And then 2008 happened, and market crashed again. And fortunately, I was in a position where I didn't lose everything, but I didn't have to do anything drastic, and I was in a position and had a reputation. So I got hired by a lender at the time that hired me to go and work with people that were behind on their mortgage, and then help them restructure their debt, not only on the mortgage, but their total debt, so that they could work within their cash flows at the time. I mean, I worked with everybody from surgeons to, just farmers, and, worked in, Florida, Ohio, and Michigan. helping people. And that was actually it was a lot of work, but it was very gratifying because when you knock
You're
on
helping people
somebody's
out.
doors, yep, and
That was,
it
yeah,
was
that's
just
that's really good because a lot of people are going through a lot of problems at that time.
yep, and that's kind of the way that I'm built, um, and I love helping people. So got through that. Been was in the mortgage, stayed in the mortgage business, and although at one time, as I mentioned before, um, I decided to get additional license other than the mortgages, so I got a construction license. I had a full design center from doing blueprints to from single family to medical buildings. Had a full design center with the tile carpet, paint colors, that whole thing, cabinets. Was a securities principal for an office here, and regular insurance agent, pretty much the full gamut, and just spent too much time doing continuing ed classes, and I was not working with people as much as I wanted. And then got back into the mortgage business, stayed in that. Um, it's the business has changed a lot from, when I first started doing mortgage applications and using stone tablets to take them on to, having everything being computerized. And in 17, I was working for a institution and doing my mortgage stuff. Very, very unhappy because I spent most of the time on a computer instead of actually meeting with people face to face.
Hmm.
And uh, um, let's see, April of 17, Good Friday, I went in to have a stint put in, and which they couldn't do because I was too clogged up. So spent the weekend in the hospital, and on Monday I was had uh, a quadruple bypass. Um, Going through
Wow.
something like that changes your perspective on things.
How
Um,
so? What did it change your perspective on?
what's important?
Yeah.
Um, I my goal looking back when I first started in business was to be a millionaire by the time I was 30. And
Well, you did that with the $4 million.
yeah, I did. I was, when I was 30 on my 30th birthday, I was uh, worth about $6 million. And life was good. It was I didn't know that um all my decisions would be good or that the market would be predictable. That's probably the biggest thing. Um, and so I did a lot of things that I didn't know that I should not have been able to do, which I think lends to success in that you have a lot more of freedom and lack of fear until you hit a really big bump or until you actually do fail in a major way. So
Well, failure is a part of success. It's an intricate
big
part of success.
big
And
time.
a lot of people are afraid of failure. Um, but what I've learned over the years is if you're going to fail, fail forward. And
Yep.
minimize your losses and maximize your gains.
Yeah, and there's different things that you learn from the failures.
Yeah.
For the heart issues really really taught me that I'm not invincible. I spent so much time chasing the dollar that I lost track of my kids. Um,
Ooh.
we have good relationships, but I was gone the majority of their growing up years because I was working. I had one instance where I got home about 2 o'clock in the morning, and my daughter was probably 4 or 5 at the time, and I crawled into bed, and then she had heard me and came and climbed in on top of me and said, "Daddy, I miss you."
Oh,
And that really hurt.
yeah.
Um, but so life changes. What I do right now is try to work with people and organizations to, help them define what really is important. Um, Money is great, assets are great, excuse me, but they come and go.
Mhm.
And I would much rather trade some of the money that I've made to, go to a few more games or a few more recitals or a
Right.
few more vacations without the phone. And
Right.
uh, uh, and that's really what I'm doing right now. A lot of it is knowing who I am. Um, I wish that I would have known some of the things that I'm teaching right now and trying to get people to understand. Um, it would have been a lot better for me because I would not only would realize what my real strengths were, but I would have also understood where my weaknesses are and how to um, really excel on the weak side. And by excelling on the weak side, you increase, what you're really good at.
Right. Yeah. You work with your gifts. That's what I try and teach people all the time. Work with your gifts.
Yeah.
You do what you do best, and then you'll end up enjoying what you do.
Yep.
Hey,
And so, like for
real quick, someone, if someone's listening to this and wants to get better at what you do, now, could you real quick explain what you do now, what you went through then and what you're doing now, and they want to get
well,
better at what you do? What would you tell them? What tips and tricks would you share?
know yourself to lead yourself. In other words, know who you are in order to lead yourself more effectively. But I go beyond that because that's only, part of the equation. The other part that I really stress is know others so you can lead others. And if you don't have an idea as far as who they are, what type of personality, what their trigger points are, what they're good at, then you you're always guessing on what to do. There's this assumption that all of us are made equally, and so what I like, you're gonna like. Well,
No,
that's not true.
no. I have
If
a
I'd
hard time
like to
explaining that to
be,
my wife.
yeah, well, that was one of the main things that happened. I'm going through this training, for this organization that I work with, and come to find out that you know number one, neither one of us likes conflict, so we don't. She's not honest with me. I'm honest with her because I'm louder. My personality is stronger than hers. I'm what I call a connector. Love people, love doing stuff like this. My wife would be going to the other side of the room. Um, she's a nurturer. She loves people, but one at a time, not in a
Right.
group setting. But uh, I'm really future oriented. She's present oriented.
That's good.
So
That's the dichotomy between husband and wife, and that works great.
yeah, unless you don't realize that you're really dominating her and she's not
Uh,
telling you the truth,
yeah,
and
there's problems there.
there's she goes along with it. I mean, her response usually was, well, if he gets an idea, I usually go along with it because it's going to sell me on it anyway. So let's just get it done with.
Gotcha.
Now, over the last several years, that's not the case anymore, but um, you got to know others. You got to take the time to really care about them so that you do it. My daughter and I are what we call nemesis voices. If I had known that when I was a teenager, things would have been a little bit easier for both of us, because I would have understood that she's just wired that way. She's not being mean, she's just wired that way.
Mhm.
And, so that makes a big difference. And that's what I have the most fun on, right now is, as far as what I'm doing, consulting and coaching. I do everything from large organizations, to premarital counseling and coaching.
Oh, that's good. That's real good.
Same, same information, just a different format.
Right.
And but it works with it. So know yourself, to lead yourself, know others to lead others.
You that reminds me of my favorite saying. That reminds me of my favorite saying. I'm a martial artist, and one of my favorite words ever uttered outside the Bible are Sun Tzu, the Art of War. Know your opponent as you know yourself. You need not fear 100 battles.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna go.
Well,
I'm gonna
it's
use that.
exactly what you said to modern
I
day.
forgot all about
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I live my life by that. Know yourself. And here's what most people miss out of that is knowing, everybody thinks you got to know your opponent. But if you know yourself, you need not fear the opponent because you know your strength and your weaknesses. Then you learn his strength and his weaknesses, and you need not fear 100 battles. But a lot of people miss that. Know yourself.
Yep. Yep. So, and the third thing is never stop learning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I went to a church down here, and the pastor Matt Keller wrote a book, The Key to Everything, and it is, yeah, I use it a lot because the key to everything is never stop learning. Always be learning something new. And the fourth thing I would say is, there's a principle that I work with is it's called the 70-30 rule. And if you spend 70% of your time doing the things that you were created to do, it'll give you enough energy to do the 30% that you hate. And
That's a good one. I like that role.
and it works. When I left mortgage lending, I was doing 5% of the stuff that I like to do, 95% of the things that I hated that drained me. So,
Nice. Well, I'm glad you got out of it.
to work on getting that switched over really helps.
Yeah.
Yep,
No, it helps your life.
very much so.
Hey, it sounds like things are going pretty good for you financially, and you've done pretty well over the years. I'm curious, have you ever considered ways to create income that doesn't require so much hands-on passive income?
I've, yeah, yes, yeah. Everything from stocks, bonds, real estate investments, all of that sort of stuff. I was a lot more aggressive with it when I was younger, and have turned a little bit more conservative in my older years.
You're
And
supposed to. That's how you're supposed to be. Aggressive young and
yeah,
conservative as you get older.
yep. So, I've done all. I don't have the temperament to be a landlord. It really ticks me off with some of the things that the tenants, did with the properties.
Tenants and toilets.
Yep.
Have you ever
So,
you ever think of multifamily investing?
yep, had a few of those in the past, and just, I mean, they worked. They work beautifully. I just have put my money into other things, and recently So yeah, multifamily works. Huge proponent of it.
Yeah,
There's a
I
lot
haven't
of
heard
creative
anybody say anything
financing
negative
for it.
about it. Yeah, I haven't heard anybody say anything negative about it. Like, the people that have gotten in and enjoyed it, that's what we do for a living at Arc Investment Ventures. We just do multifamily, invest in multifamily, and it works great. You have the key to what I think you're saying is you got to have a good property manager. And if you got a good property manager and a good property,
Yeah.
it's just amazing. Those are really two
Yeah, and
big
I think
keys.
that's one of the things that I didn't do that initially. I tried to take care of all the stuff myself, got really good at replacing toilets. So
I don't want you to be good at that.
uh so uh it works. I wouldn't do it without a property manager again.
No,
That's just
no,
not gonna happen. Um,
no.
but yeah, I mean, there's different things that we all can do to, try to get in on that passive income side with it.
It really changed my life. I'm able to do podcasts. I'm able to do what I want by having passive income. Um, Wrapping up real quick in the interview, what exciting plans and innovations you got going for the next 6 to 12 months?
First one is I'm trying to finish a book. It's called
Oh,
Money
nice.
Wise.
Money
And
wise,
yeah, WHYS. And what I do is I go into the various personality types and explain how your natural tendency is to look at money and how you spend it. Again, it has to do with your personal. It's more than just math. Yeah, math, breaks it down, but you tell a personality type like me that you have to stay within this box. Yeah, I'm not going to listen. You give me parameters, you know, then that are kind of open. Well, if I want to go out dining and spend, $10 extra in the dining out of the dining envelope, I can take it from, uh, some other the grocery envelope or the maintenance envelope or whatever. It gives me a little bit
right?
more flexibility. Like as I mentioned, my wife is very present oriented, so she's taking a look at everything. I'm future oriented, so I'm more like, well, I need to get one more client in order to buy this.
Right, right. That's the given. Yeah. That's great. No, that's awesome. Hey, listen, real quick. I got a quick question for you before we take off. Since you've dealt with money your whole life, what is money?
What is money? It's basically just a consideration. No, let me get past that. It's a means to um, do something that you want to want want to do. Like I said, I wanted to be a millionaire because I could do a lot of things, um, which I did. I did a lot of things. I accumulated a lot of things. I mean, I had 4 cars, 5 cars actually, with just my wife and I as drivers. But the thing that gave me the most fun out of having the money is like one New Year's Day, I realized I had some tax problems. And so I went out and bought um, 7 Caprices that day, and then gave them to various churches for the pastors
Nice,
and staff to use.
nice.
And that turns my crank. That's a lot more fun to provide
Fulfilling.
opportunities to those who normally wouldn't have that opportunity. I work with churches a lot right now and on a donation basis, mainly because churches don't plan for leadership development. And so what I'm, charging thousands of dollars for on a corporate level. I'm giving the same information to a nonprofit so that they can start enabling not only their staff, but their congregation to be more effective in what they're doing.
Nice.
Not only as a individual, but also as a body.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, it's nice that you give away some stuff to churches. If so, that's a perfect segue. So, could you do me a favor and tell everybody how to get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with you? How would they do that?
Yeah, probably the easiest way is the website, which is giantleadership.us. Giantleadership.us. That has all the links on there. We had talked a little about personality, who you are and who others are. Go to the website. One of the buttons on the top is a 5-voice assessment, and that's what I use as far as working with individuals. It's free, but it'll tell you a little bit about who you are, whether you're a pioneer, connector, guardian, creative, or a nurturer. So you can take a look at that if you want, and that has my phone numbers and all that fun stuff on it too.
Awesome. Well, Dan, thank you very much for sharing your insights. We really do appreciate it. And like I said, people that are watching, if you'd like to like and subscribe, we'd really appreciate it. It helps out the channel. Dan, thanks a lot for being on. I appreciate you.
You bet. Have a great day, Mike.
You too.
Thanks for listening to Driven, the Unscripted Success Podcast. Want to share your story? Apply to be a guest at drivensuccesspodcast.com/guest.